Alright, welcome. This is Devin from Deadly Art Gaming. For those coming for the first time, welcome. For those coming back, welcome back. Today we are going to be going over what I'm going to be calling the Lost Epoch Firewalker build. Essentially, I just started making this. Was going to put out the build guide like last week, but then the whole 710 started the changes started coming in where they're going to be changing defenses and all that stuff, so I didn't want to release something that was going to have to be altered, changed, and reimagined, and essentially because a lot of builds are having to be tweaked a little bit, but just to make sure they're still viable. But um, so without further ado, let's go ahead and, well, first off, if you do like the content, make sure you smash that like button. If you want to keep up to date with this build and my other builds that I'll be putting out, I got a couple of them that I got to rework now. But smash that subscribe buttons, keep up with those, my weekly wrap-ups and all that fun stuff. And if you want to, join our Discord down below. The link is down there. Join up and chit-chat, and especially whenever multiplayer comes out here, hopefully soon. Um, I'll be more than happy for y'all to join me and play with me, help you farm gear, whatever the case may be. I'll help you out as best I can. Uh, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the build. Essentially, this is an elementalist. It is, or a mage. Uh, we went with the Spellblade tree. Essentially, now, like I said, this is a build in progress, so I'm only 71 and haven't finished my gear and maximized everything out. So as of right now, I'm 71. I'm actually in a monolith right now that I'm gonna run so y'all can see it in action. This is a level 90 monolith, so I'm doing stuff 19 levels higher than me. But as you can tell, my defenses aren't all the way up yet, just because I haven't finished crafting my gear and all that stuff. So definitely a lot of potential, or my defense will be a lot better once I get everything finished. And not only that, but also damage wise. So, but we're going to go over the tree real quick and kind of show you what I'm at and what I plan on going. And then if I change stuff down the road, I'll make another updated guide to it and all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and go over the tree. In the mage, we'll go 8 points in here for the fire damage. I'm not really worried about the rest of this stuff. Um, this, I am more likely to put a couple more points into here just to get a little bit more mana, because in the end game, I want more than 300, and I'll show y'all why here a little bit. Um, so, 8 points here, 10 points here, just for um, the extra damage that you can get from your skills every once in a while with that 200 increase, so which is pretty nice. Um, and then I think that's it. But I will be grabbing this once I get the rest of my levels. I'll be grabbing this as well. It'll be that, and I think 2 more points in there will finish me off as far as max points. Sorceress, we're going with fire damage and ignite chance, and then fire penetration and fire damage leech. Um, so you only get this off of Firebrand and Nova, but you won't get it off of these as far as the leech. Other than that, down here for spell damage, and then of course a little bit more mana and armor. Actually, no, I do apologize. I wasn't going to put 2 points in here. It's actually going in there because you actually get 1 more point each point you put in there, so, or 1 more mana. So this gives you a little bit more. I mean, you can pick and choose. It'll give you a little bit more HP if you go the other route, but I meant they both have a defensive kind of stat tied with it. So as long as you can try to get to 300, you'll be fine. Then we're gonna go over to Spellblade. Spellblade, we are going straight up here. Elemental damage, elemental resist. This is gonna give you your first 18% elemental damage or elemental resist. This is what gives you the ability to have it running, your fire aura running at all times. As long as you're moving around, you're gonna have it. Even if you're not moving around and doing damage, you're gonna get it from here up here as well. Um, so now this says 24. It gives you extra damage, base damage for the skill, so which is nice. Um, so from this one, it gives you more area, it gives you more damage, and this. Um, I know it says 40% chance on it, but it's pretty much as long as you're moving around or doing something, all you got to be doing is doing melee or moving around. So doing your melees and hitting stuff, you're going to cast it. You're running around, you're going to cast it. No matter what you're doing, as long as you're not just standing there twiddling your thumbs, it's going to be up. Which the stacks grow, the more you walk, the more you get, the more you melee, the more you get, all that fun stuff. So um, after you get these, then we're coming over here to get the ward. I go 4 points in here just to get the 4 points to grab this. So you'll get ward as long as you hit one enemy. That's 20 per hit. This will cast elemental burst around you, which it does the element that you cast, or what you cast. So which is fire, so it's going to be fire burst around you. I'm probably going to put some points in here just to get a little bit more retention and more damage from the burst. Haven't really decided on that if I really want to try to get that to go higher. Don't want to go up here because that's going to give me lightning. You want to go 3 points in here just to come over here. That way you can get the fire. Oops, sorry about that. Fire resist. Max this out. Fire resist, and then the chance on hit to with the melee to cast fire aura. Now, just remember, I know it's already up. Essentially, what you're wanting to happen is you're wanting it to cast as much as possible, because the more it's cast, the the more stacks you get. The more stacks you get, the more damage you do. So the higher, the better, and the bigger, and just try to get as high as possible makes it that much better. Um, and then I'm just gonna come up here and do the 3 points in here. Just get some more, a little bit more defenses. Like with what I have right now, I'm pretty, pretty stable. And then I know when I get my resist there, I think it'll be even much better. But having that since the aura is going to be up 24/7, constantly generating war would be a really good deal. Um, and then essentially going to come over here to get this for the ignites and stuff like that, and more health, of course. Um, so that'll be nice there. Um, I think that was. Oh, I wanted to test this out to see how slow, because as far as cast, I'm not worried about cast speed because all my stuff, like this, is instant cast. This is instant cast. The only thing that's not instant cast are these two, which this I really don't use a whole lot. It's just something that I pop every once in a while, just like whenever I'm doing bosses, just to try to get some more ignite stacks or just stuff like that. Um, but it's not really something that I have to have. Essentially, the only skills that you need is this, and that. Three skills. You don't need anything else. Um, these are pretty much the only thing that I really use. I'll use this just to kind of get around faster. And that just every once in a while, just because I was wanting to level it up to where whenever I do my teleport, it does the fire um, novas everywhere I go. So it helps with bosses and clearing and just running around. Makes things a lot easier. Um, but that's pretty much the skills. Um, maybe whenever Rematch comes out, there might be something I might grab on there that might make it better. We'll have to see. So we're going to go through the skills now. So for Fire Aura, now this is what I want to break down to you real quick before I go further with this skill. this skill right here allows you to have um, basically you can max out your elemental resist all in the skill. As far as the damage and all that stuff, you really don't need the other points. You can go here with one, 5 here for the base damage. Um, and then if you want to go DPS, just full DPS and do the resist on your gear, which I'm about to swap back to, um, is you can go here. This will for the retaliation fireballs. They do a lot of damage. Um, put one more point in there, and then put say you'll have. Let me see. I'm at 20, so 4. So you'll put 1 in there. I wouldn't really put any more than maybe 1 to 2 points in here. With that, it pretty much with 2 points in there, it makes it pretty much the same ring as this. If it's cause see, without any increase, it's pretty close. But if you put 1 point in there, it gets it to right about here. So you put 2 points in there, and it will kind of match what your flame aura is. Um, so I kind of like not having them the same. That way I know when it's up and when it's not. Because if you had it, I ran with it for a bit where they were pretty much exactly the same, and I would forget to pop this all the time just because I couldn't see it. Um, so I would uh, put it, if you want a little bit more area, put maybe 1 point in there, and then put the rest, put here, and then you can do it at night, or you can do this, um, which this is really good because of the fact that, and then put the rest in here to make it to where it happens more often. Essentially, because the enemies are going to be on you, not away from you and stuff like that. You're running on top of them, they're running on top of you, they're always going to be around you. So, um, if you didn't do this, you would do 1 here, and then just do 1 and 1. Um, and that way you can do more ignite stacks and stuff like that. Um, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do 2 points in here and then do 2 in here and get some resist and get global ignite chance. Um, but that's totally up to you. Still kind of playing with that, but I don't. I played with that and didn't really seem to really do a whole lot, so I didn't really play with that. Um, with this, it's 20% chance compared to 10% chance with 1 point, and it's enemies near you, so they're always going to be near you. Next up is going to be Flame Ward. So that's Fire Shield. This is going to be Flame Ward. Essentially, I'm coming over here to get to where I take less damage. And then come down here for duration, increase fire damage, fire aura damage, and then added fire damage. So all this stuff will bring that. You can do retaliation if you want. If you think your defense is fine, you could take that off if you want, and kind of come up here. That's totally up to you. But that's just the way that I went. Because I was gonna try to come over here, but then I have to take a point off of my damage just to get that to have damage go to my mana because I don't really use a lot of mana. But I didn't want to sacrifice the damage just for defenses when I'm doing all right. Elemental Nova, essentially penetration, fire nova, of course, um, fire damage. I might actually take this out just for the simple fact that generally whenever I cast this, I mean it's not whenever they're at full health, because as soon as I get near me, they're getting hit with my aura, so they're not going to be at full health. So I'm probably going to be taking that off. I'm going to be maxing this out, and I might just go ahead and max that out, just to get more ignite chance, which means more stacks on them. Because I might get rid of that and go back over and put it back into there, but which is fine because it puts it on a cooldown. Oh, actually, no, I can't. I forgot. You cannot use that. I know I've seen people use it, and I'll tell you why here in just a second whenever I get to it. But I'll put the rest of the points in there, max this out, and then rest of the points in there. But that one just gives you elemental damage and area for it. And then for Firebrand, this is a new skill, so I'm still tinkering with this just because of it's a new skill, but I think this is pretty good setup on it. Essentially, you want to come up here to get this. Essentially, stacks of Firebrand also grant increased fire damage over time, so that helps your ignites and stuff like that. And then spread flame chance as well, so that's also nice. I thought about kind of coming here, but I wanted to get as high stacks as I possibly could, because the more stacks, the better. Because each stack of Firebrand buff increases the size of control Firebrand attacks and adds more fire melee damage, which we're not really doing. Our damage isn't really from Firebrand itself as far as your output, so it's mainly to get the stacks and the buffs. So you'll come up here, get Ignite chance, and get the fire increase fire over time. Come over here for this is what I mainly wanted to get, is that stacks of Firebrand add adaptive spell damage rather than fire melee damage. So everything that gives melee fire damage is converted to spell damage, adaptive spell damage. So which would make it do a lot more damage. So since all of our stuff's elemental, and then coming down here, this increases to max stacks plus 3, so you get 3 more stacks. Because right now I think I sit at 8 is max stat right now, is what I'm up to. So you get 3 more here. You'll come over here for duration once. Oh yeah, I already maxed it out. Come down here and grab this. This basically allows you to where you don't have to constantly spam it, because the older ones are gonna be timing out. You can just run around and get your stacks up to 8, and then as you run around, just hit one person every once in a while just to keep the stacks up. So you don't have to do much with the Firebrand. Coming over here for ward gain. As long as you hit one enemy. Fine, it's mainly to come over here and get this. So this will get you up to 8 stacks. You have to have 4. I was trying to see if I can squeeze out something just to get one more stack, because I don't know. I don't think. Because I think it might be more beneficial to go ahead and take 1 off here. Because, here, let me calculate that real quick. What would that look like? 5 times 8, that's 200. And then 20 times 9. So yeah, you get more by having the less stacks. So it'd be better with this than to get 1 more stack there. So, but that's it for Firebrand. And now this is where it ties into the Elemental Nova. We'll come over here for the resist. When you cast it for 4 seconds, the decoys, and then the elemental damage, of course, Come down here for the Novas, and this is where you cannot have Elemental Nova on this because it puts a cooldown on it, which if you have these, they will not cast if if it has a cooldown. It doesn't say as long as it's off of cooldown, it's not going to cast at all. Um, so come down here, grab these, and then come over here, get the resist and the duration. I don't really need all that stuff. I really, honestly don't care. It's going to be maxed out with my gear anyways. Um, but what you do have for armor and the stun avoidance, stuff like that, um, those lasting a little bit longer would be nice, and the elemental damage increase. So it's nice to have that last a little bit longer for you. Um, as far as gear, I got these boots the other day, or actually, let me go with the idols first. Now, these idols are probably going to be changing. Essentially, what I'm looking for is this one right here. Um, Essentially, you'll want to get um, fire aura area, and then fire aura damage. Now, with the fire damage with over 300 max mana, so stuff like that. So if you can get one, I mean, you don't really have to worry about area too much, but the farther out it is, the faster they start taking ticks and not hitting you. So it's up to you. Um, so if you get a bunch of mana just to get your mana to 300, do so. Um, and then let's see here. So essentially, I'm going to have 3 of these. Actually, I'll have 4 of these altogether. I'm still trying to find some more. I haven't had any more drop. Um, then get one like this. Spell fire damage, spell fire aura damage, and then you would have a room for a single one, which you can do something with mana on it and whatever. That's totally up to you. As far as gear, we are going. Oh, now this is where I was telling you all you can make your own decision on this portion. You can go your elemental resist here, and then um, just have 2 points in here 6, 1, 5, 1, or you can do one. I wouldn't really do one less here, but um, that's totally up to you. You could do one less here and then go there, and then now max it up and just do it like that. Um, or you could have the resist on your gear. It's whichever your preference is. If you want to be more, if you're feeling squishy, um, I mean, leveling up, I would probably say come here and do kind of like what I have right now, just one less here and go here until you get your gear where you want it or really close to max resist and stuff like that. Then respec out and change it up. But if you just want to keep it that way, you can. But um, essentially, you'd want these boots. Gives you ward 51%, or let me see if that's max roll. 60 is max roll. Basically, it takes a percentage of your mana gained as ward. Um, it doesn't look like it takes it away, so you're not going to lose any ward. You're just going to gain it over here. So even though it says current mana gained as ward when you stop moving. So it doesn't seem to like I said, it doesn't take anything away, but it still gives you a big chunk of defenses for your physical, poison, necro, and then also bonus movement speed. The max on that is 20. Then here, now these aren't completely leveled up. These I just got the bases kind of done. Some of them might be changing up here soon. Um, Essentially, this would be damage leech until the elemental resist. Anyone that has elemental resist, you would convert that to um, like the hybrid health. Um, that way you have more of a higher health pool if you want to go that way. Like I said, doing that would be really defensive. Or if you want to be more glass cannon, higher DPS, uh, I would just do it where the damage is on the skill and put the resist on the gear. Uh, and then mana here, fire damage, spell damage, elemental resist, or health, mana, fire damage, elemental damage over time. Let me see something real quick. And then, and I mean, as far as these, you could do, like, as far as the elemental damage, you could do elemental damage, or I would probably recommend just go ahead and do spell damage. I'm I'm gonna kind of play with that to see which one affects the auras more. Because I would think that the auras are going to be more susceptible to the elemental damage aspect. I'm trying to get, I need to get two pieces kind of equally uh, rolled and see which one does more damage for the auras. Just to, because I want to maximize the aura to where you're pretty much just running through stuff. Um, but elemental damage over time is still good. I don't even know why I really put that. Uh, but you could change out. You could do elemental over time if you want, just to get those stacks of ignite tricking a lot faster, a lot higher. Um, or you can do where you can do the spell. I'm gonna kind of play with the three just to kind of see which one gives the best output. Then of course your poison void in this one, void and critical strike avoidance, and then on the belt, elemental damage over time because that's all you can get on the belt. Ward gain on potion use, hybrid health, and then poison resist. Weapon, we're doing spell damage and fire damage, mana and ignite. Helmet is the fire helmet, um, and then we're going to do intel, cooldown, recovery, fire damage over time, and then fire aura damage. I need to get some more to drop to put it on my helm. Um, they kind of, I was getting a few yesterday, but I haven't got any more. It was just a lucky day yesterday, I guess. Um, necklace would be fire penetration, fire damage, physical necro damage. This is going to be the bone amulet for to get physical necro resist. Um, and then catalyst, fire damage, spell damage, resist, and mana. Um, I mean, as far as defensive, I ran with a shield, block chance, and all that stuff. As far as damage and stuff, it felt kind of comparable. It was about the same. Didn't really change much. Granted, I did add a lot of fire damage and stuff to it. But as far as playing, defensive, survivability, it didn't really change anything too much because of the gaining of ward from it. So it actually played out about the same. But if you want to, you can run it. Just do block, health gain on block, and necrophysical. Essentially the same thing that's on there. It's just this one I can actually put damage stats on it. So if say you wanted to do like one of the high-end bosses and you wanted to make sure you're gonna be not gonna be too squishy, you can use something like that. And I do believe that is all the gear. Um, so now we're gonna go over. I'm gonna do a little playthrough because, like I said, as far as my stats, I'm nowhere near what I need to be at as far as like max stats and stuff like that. But if I cast my aura, you can see I'm well over my resists over here. Of course, I haven't finished those up. Physical, need to get that up a little bit more, like a little bit more armor. No block chances because I don't have any of that stuff. Um, you don't want to worry about crit strike because none of your stuff will crit except for these two, which we're only really using this for the buffs. And that, um, yeah, we're not really. It's just there for extra ignites. Yes, it might crit, but it's not a big deal. It's not my main skill, and I don't use it very often. Um, Other than that, fire damage is almost at 600%. Got a little bit of cold lightning just from the skill. Let me see here. Nothing in there to really show. Ignite chance right now is 16%. Night damage 336, which that will go up once I get my gear completely done. And then a little bit of cooldown recovery. So, but I also have more intel once I get finished with everything and a little bit more vitality just for more HP too as well. I'm trying to get it right at about 1000 HP once everything's all said and done. Alright, well, let's go. So, I mean, it's pretty easy. Even these ones that are fire resistance, they're pretty easy to kind of take down. I meant earlier I did a map where I pretty much just walked through. I didn't even use Firebrain. I just walked through it, didn't cast anything, just to kind of see if they'd kill me, if I'd make it, how much. I mean, what would happen if I did something like that, and I did just fine. I walked through most of the stuff died, and once I get done with the build, a lot more stuff will die like one hit just by walking through. Um, so as you can tell, I mean, it's fairly easy to play, easy to level. Um, if um, I'll go over kind of some leveling stuff that you can use and stuff to kind of help you with the leveling of the character once I'm done with this. I mean, I'd be able to bet that this would be able to do stuff just like my um what was it? My Sentinel, not my Sentinel, but the Forge Guard that I ran as a Void Knight. Um, well, I use Void Knight skills, but I would just run to the boss and drag everything to it and just kill everything at the boss. Um, so a lot of stuff just dies following you just because of the damage it does. So like it kills trash mobs with no problem. The the bigger HP ones maybe take 2 hits with it. Um, Rares, a lot of them get just melted. Some of the heavier, tankier ones, you might. That's where I'll use this, but then whenever I have to do the ones that are tanky, I'll pop that, and then they just generally melt as well. Um, But as far as leveling, um, you can use, uh, since this is like a really low level weapon, I mean, it's level 40, but Ren worked really well for a while. That's what I was using up until this patch, and it worked just fine. Um, then also Calamity works really well just because of fire uh, increase and all that stuff. So those worked really well. And then also I used I used that for the bit just for to get some more leech leveling up. Worked decent. Uh, but yeah, other than that, you just kind of put stuff where you can, anything that increases fire damage, and then get your resist kind of in a good spot as you're leveling, and just rock and roll through, run right through stuff. That's as soon as I was able to get that skill and then get this one going, it was cake uh, leveling up. Um, Essentially, when you're leveling up, let me see when do you get that one? I did use Fire Reeve um, leveling up. Uh, I would get the mana reduction in it. Um, like, not really that one. Where was it? Trying to remember where I had everything. Well, yeah, I guess you have to go with that one. Um, so, I mean, range isn't that big of a deal because of the fact that they're going to be right there in front of you, anyways. Um, like, get the mana reduction so it's not just like drowning your mana. Um, and then of course just get everything that it has, anything with ignite chance, fire chance, stuff like that. um, you can come over here to get this, that way it'll more chance of aura stacks, or yeah, fire aura stacks going. But that's it. I mean, I pretty much, all that you need is those two, and then a fire melee skill. You can, I mean, you can use focus if you, not focus, but mana strike if you really want. That's totally up to you. Um, like I said, my damage isn't from this. Pretty much the only two skills I mainly use is these two. This is just for buffs. So I mean, as you saw, I can run through there and it's still gonna kill that stuff just fine without even hitting with the firebrand. So, because see, it's hitting about 400 or almost 5k, sometimes 5ks. Um, but now watch. See, now it's hit 6ks, and if I pop my fire aura, it's getting into 7ks. Now if I pop that, now I'm getting close to 9k. 10k there. So, I mean, you gotta remember these are just base hits. These aren't crits. So I mean, if I wish there was a way to make the auras crit, then this would be so insane. But I mean, the damage it does by itself is fine. Um, so other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's been fun to play. The bosses have been pretty easy. Not having really too much issue with them because I'm not having to sit here and worry about running around, staying, surviving, and all that stuff, and also casting a ton of skills. Um, I can essentially just run in circles around the boss, um, and if I need to, I can pop this every once in a while, which I generally pop it nonstop just to keep it up, doing more damage, and then just popping these every time they come up, just running circles. I mean, I don't have to pop all this stuff; it just makes it go faster. So um, the bosses have been pretty easy to kill. So other than that, that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all have any questions or anything, leave a comment down below, or like I said, drop jump in the Discord. Down link is down below, and you can talk with me. I'll help you. Like I said, once multiplayer comes out, if y'all need help farming stuff, jump in there and let me know. Um, if you like the content, please smash the like button. If you want to keep up to date with this build and my others, because I'm gonna make another build, updated build guide once I get it kind of more close to min max type deal, and kind of showcase it a little bit better on the, because like right now I'm at 90 monoliths, so I'll be doing the 100s here soon, and all that stuff. So if y'all want to keep up to date with that, smash that subscribe button. Other than that, my name is Devin from Deadly Art Gaming, and you all have a great day.